I've heard you on other podcasts talk about to other podcast hosts, like their thing that they need to work on. And astrology can tell us that. So you're saying mine is this idea of nurturing my inner self because
Exactly.
oh, Deborah, it is busy upstairs. There's a lot. It's very hard. Deborah, I mean, one day I'm worried about the baby. Then I'm worried about an earthquake. Then why isn't it happening this way? And it's like, oh, Sarah, like just the biggest thing is letting go and letting God. That's really hard for me to do.
Well, if you had a calm, which is a practice, I'm telling you this is what happens in the school. Yours would be water. Can you be still and do nothing on purpose? No. Can you rest and just cuddle? No. Can you let your child give you the focus? Yes. He can really get your attention and calm you down. So you figure out what your medicine is, and this is what happens in our school, and then you specifically identify for you what it takes. Like for some people, they're too calm. They just get really lazy and they feel themselves captured by their emotional body and they get swamped and they want to just stay at home and secretly be alone. Then there's other people like you and I who are like, blah, blah, blah. And then we have to learn to be calm and they have to learn to get out. And that's what astrology teaches us. The medicine is in the stars once you study your chart, and it's very fun. The best part about astrology is I teach it like with there's videos and then there's assignments and then there's stream boards and then it's like so many different, and you're in a small group with a buddy. You'd love this part. Someone is assigned to you. Have you signed up yet?
No, I've been doing Lauren Lagrasso. Shout out to Lauren. Everyone should listen to her podcast, Unleash the Inner Creative. She had you're doing kind of like a week-long, it's like an hour meditation, immersion. I've been doing that, and you have a guest speaker. It's really amazing, like different things that I'm discovering. So I've loved that, but I haven't looked at the school.
Well, all it is it's only coming up right now. So you're right on time. And this is being showed on Monday. So for any of you that want to come in through Sarah, we will keep the door open a little bit longer just for you. It's a class all about you. I mean, all the questions you're asking, you study yourself. The first class is really a mirror with the stars and psychological prompts. And then suddenly you're like, oh, no wonder I'm so indecisive. That's not a bad trait, but here's the medicine. Don't worry, you can't get a wrong answer because you always end up, Sarah, in the right place.
I love that. Deborah, a lot of my audience too is fixated on love. How does astrology and love or relationships, how does that work? Because, and I'll tell you mine, and I'm curious what my chart says. I'm married to, my husband's July 27th, so I think he's a Leo. Some people say to me when I say, oh, I'm an Aquarius and he's a Leo, some people look at me and they're like maybe we're not a good match. I don't know. Is that true?
No, you're opposites. It's a really good match. You both have a lot of chi. He can keep up with you.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, there's some days he wishes he done.
Well, you just talk a lot, but the energetics that's a very complementary. Whenever the signs are opposite, it's very complementary.
Okay, I know you've been married. I know, do you always, is there something to that? Like sometimes when people say that to me, like they date based on their astrological chart or something.
I always say Cupid doesn't know astrology and she's blind. She pulls the thing that she has bad eyesight and she aims at the karmic agreement that you don't know about that was put in place by your destiny. And then you get a vote. But those destiny, your dog, your kid, your father, your sister, all that was written by destiny.
Okay. So astrology can help you learn to deal with some of those personalities.
You got it.
That might be challenging to you.
Exactly. And then you learn to accept them or not accept them, or learn how to communicate to someone that, like you, if your husband tells you to stop talking, that's just bad.
You're really mad. Yes.
Like, let me finish. I just got to go through this whole process and then I'll get down to the bottom of it. And I really want to hear your opinion, but let me talk. And once you know that about yourself, intimacy, into me, I see. I can get intimate with you if I really know what's true about me. I can reveal it. But if I can't be clear on who I am, and I'm not in love with me, and I'm dating, or I'm looking for a relationship, or I'm looking for a divorce, that requires you to really be clear about what your values are and what your lessons are. And that can't be articulated till there's a language. And unfortunately, in our society, until astrology, I mean, it's so funny, it's been here for so long. It's the masterful tool that gives us compassion for the human condition, because we are all screwed up. Raise your hand if you have an ego. Oh, look, everyone's raising it. And that ego's function Evading God's oneness, EGO, is to take you away from the peace. Your ego wants you to be different and special and feel so weird and comparisonitis and all that. And then there's a soul waiting in the wings, which in your case, the rising sign, Scorpio, that says, shh, I got this. Your rising sign is very deep and very peaceful. Your personality is very talkative and gets confused.
And oh, wow. Wow. And you were saying
that's important because Aquarius and Scorpio don't get along. One part of your character wants nothing more than to just be fickle and playful and really lighthearted, and your soul's not interested. She wants depth. She wants quiet.
oh God. All right. So what do you do? How do I do? I cultivate a practice, right?
Exactly.
To find a balance.
See, that's the thing about you is you get it so quick. You would learn astrology very quickly, and the practical, our school's called applied astrology. It's not theory. It's psychological applications that let people fall in love with themselves.
Wow. It's so great. And we've missed that, haven't we? Falling in love with ourselves. It's really counterintuitive to all the messages we're given, right, in society, which is like the beauty world, be younger,
Look for approval. Measure your success in the outer world. Make sure that you're better than the other. You didn't have it, they do. Now feel bad about yourself. You're gaining weight, feel bad. It's all outer.
How do you handle when people come into your astrology teaching and like they want to be rich or they want to be famous or they want to find the love of their life?
First
And
you
like,
have to see, yeah, that's cute. There is destiny lines that reveal themselves. And so it takes a little while studying. You can get a good reading. I do very few readings, but I have certified astrologers on my site. There's about 24 that I've certified who takes years to get through my filter, and they're really good. And you just call me. You know what I do? Matchmaker, make me a match, find me a find. I put the person, I look at your chart, I look at my certified, and I put them together, and then people have an hour experience of life changing. Now that's the shortcut. Buy the book, get a reading, but go learn how to fish. Go take the class so you can look at your chart and fall in love in detail. And then if you're looking for a career, we actually have a level 1, 2, 3, and 4 is how to get your website up. And if you really wanted to do a career and you were secretly a psychologist, but you don't want to go to school, come become an astrologer.
Debra, over the years, 5 decades is amazing. What's been the most rewarding part of your job and the least?
Good question. The most rewarding is definitely the school that people send me gifts all the time, because after they finish level 1, their husbands call me and say, oh my God, she's back. She's got her life force back. She's being happy again. She's being nice. She just lost 20 pounds. We can't believe the stories we get from level 1. So that's been, and then inside that story is we have 30 mentors that I've been with for now 9 years in the school that I can see their lives have changed. So it's very fulfilling to have been contributing to women in a way where I can see healing. And I think the hardest part is, to be honest, I'm a severe workaholic, and I've had to learn to pace myself. Because look at me, I'm getting towards 70. I can't, even though I look young and I'm vital, there is a respect for aging that has to be, really cultivated. And so I'm now learning how to celebrate the seasoning of wisdom that comes when you become patient and trusting. And even though that sounds good, it wasn't an easy path.
It's very hard to do, isn't it? Again, in our society.
Because we're both, I'm double air like you are. We both have this woo, woo, woo. It took me many years to realize, wow, I just like to distract myself.
Yeah, I know. Oh my God, me too. Me too, from what the mission is. So how did you, in your own, because I'm curious with mine, right? You and I have some similarities. How did you find that balance? Like you were saying, my soul wants to be quiet.
Well, you know what I learned? I learned that I could meditate just 5 minutes on my phone quietly. And that even though it felt like nothing was happening and it was boring, because what air sign wants to sit and be bored? Nobody. But as the years have gone by, I've really cultivated a respect for the quiet. And now being alone, being quiet, being by the water, going alone hiking, I never, ever, ever in a million years would have imagined my codependency, which is what you suffer from too, would actually, it's Libra, would actually become the very gift of wisdom that I am in love. I thrive on being alone now. I can't believe I'm saying it. So it took many years. I wanted to say that. And astrology was my guide. And so as I cultivated the gift of meditation without resistance, and it took me a long time to get there, I suddenly realized, wow, there's something to be said about peace and ease and comfort in my skin.
Hmm. Where do you think we are now in 2023? It seems like I always say, you read some stories and it's like, wow, younger people are getting less religious. I feel just even in the past decade that maybe it's not religious, but I feel like people are more and more spiritual than ever. Now, maybe it's me because I attract
I
it.
agree completely. We're desperate. Listen,
I think people are, yeah.
we're going into a crisis. We're going into a climate crisis. I don't know why people don't talk more about this. There is a reality to what's going to happen within 10 years. There's going to be no fish. The coral on planet Earth is gone. Go watch Chasing Coral, who was my first interview on my podcast. Nobody wants to talk about it because it's so painful. Here's the good news. Once you know your nature and you can calm yourself down, then you know how to contribute. So don't be confused by being in denial as the solution to a radical change. And yes, we're moving towards God. That's the only answer to this question. Who made astrology? Excuse me. How is that system airtight? How can I look at your chart and the first thing I say is, you're so hard at making decisions and you're like, how did she know? When you have all those planets in Libra, duh,